Welcome to the Red Dirt America podcast. I'm Chuck Taylor, and on this podcast, we'll feature some interviews that I've done for my Texas Countdown show and my morning show for KHYI in Dallas, Texas. This week, Randy Brown. Well, first of all, man, thank you for doing this. It's been a while since we've had a chance to actually talk.
It's been too long, man. It's been way too long. I haven't got over that way in a long time. We've seemed like we've been going in the other directions.
Yeah. Well, the latest EP, and I guess you call it an EP because it has fewer than 10 songs, is Gravity. Matt, talk to me about this song. I mean, not just the song, but the EP. Why?
Well, I'd tell you, it's been a while since I've done an album, and we've done 4 of them prior to this. And with the music, industry kind of changing and all, and I just thought, well, let's just do an EP. And with it been so many years since I'd done one, that I kind of decided to kind of write it and kind of pick the songs on it to kind of it's kind of like a story of what I've been doing since the last album.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where the songs kind of came in, and kind of tells like kind of a story, I guess, from if you listen to it from start to finish, kind of like that. And, they actually only wanted 5 on the album. I made them let me do number 6. So it's changed a little bit.
Well, you're one of the guys out there, and I say this with all respect, you're one of the guys out there that still does traditional sounding country music. There's not most of the newer guys breaking out, they're trying to do that poppy stuff, which doesn't work for the Texas music scene, in all honesty.
I don't know. I just, that's kind of what we always do. I take that as a big, huge compliment. I mean, that's what we like to do. We like to play, traditional Texas country music. I mean, we like it all. I mean, we really like every kind of music there is out there. And tell you what, everybody in my band and everything, we love it all. And so when we play live, you never know what you'll hear. But when we go to the studio, that's kind of what we want to do. We just always kind of lean back towards the country music side of things. And we like it. We have a good time. We get to play for a lot of folks. A lot of folks out there still like country music.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what the biggest downfall of Nashville is. And I think when you really saw that people really like country music was a couple of years ago when Chris Stapleton, who to mainstream country seemed to come out of the blue, but to people who've been playing the real country music, knew that he was with the Steel Drivers, knew he's been around writing songs for years. It was no surprise to us that he put out real country music, but everybody else was like, wow, this is what country music can be?
Yeah, it's funny. You sit there and there's Stapleton songs that we've played through the years and when we went in our live shows and stuff, and there was a lot of guys like that we were always like, we play this stuff, and so many times it falls on, deaf ears, really. And then all of a sudden, it's got to be a situation like that where he just goes pow right out of the gate. And, and everybody's like, whoa, we've been missing out on some stuff, and so it's really cool that he's done that and done so well. And what a talent, amazing singer, songwriter, guitar player, band leader. I mean, he's the full meal deal. He's awesome.
Well, and I think he becomes the standard bearer for traditional country music, saying, hey, traditional country music is not dead, which allows guys like yourself and like Tommy Alverson and 1100 Springs to really shine, and people start finding your music who may not have found it before, because now they've got somebody that mainstream country is saying, hey, here's somebody who's doing this that's been around for a long time. Who else have I missed out on?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you got 1100, and you still of course you still have Daryl Dodd still doing stuff, and with Cody Jinks and Jamie Richards and those guys. There's still a lot of guys out there doing country. I mean, they're still out there. We do all right. So it's really great. It's kind of just a good, it's a good injection of just kind of cheering on the traditional side of things. It kind of rounds it all out. So I'm glad to be a part of it.
Well, let's talk about Gravity a little bit more. Take me your thought process when you're writing the songs. Where are you? Are you on a fifth Jim Beam, or where are you when you're doing that?
No, I might have been on my fifth Miller Lite, maybe, but I don't know about Jim Beam. No, I'll tell you, I tend to, I don't write a lot. I don't churn out like 2 songs a week, or I don't do that. But I can also turn around and like write 2 songs in 2 days and then not write something for 4 months. You know, that's real weird, but it's just when certain things hit me or whatever, it seems like I kind of, you know, if it's strong enough, you'd be surprised how many one-liners there are in my songs, you know, little, you know, hook deals that you hear. And then I always think about it like that. It's like, I don't know if it's smart alecky or, you know, whatever you want to call it, but it's something like there's a little bit of humor in it, you know. So when those lines come up, I just kind of kick them back and I think about them in a song. And so there's several songs on here when you listen to it, there's little one-liners on that. And that's where Gravity, the song, came from. I just thought it was kind of catchy, you know. It just dawned on me that, you know, I've been fighting gravity my whole life and I ain't never let it get me down. Yeah. And I just thought that was a really, you know what, that's right. You know, you're swinging all the time, you never give it up, and that's kind of what my music career has always been. So I just that's where Gravity came from. So yeah, I don't know, and I can't even remember when I wrote it. Probably about a year ago or so, maybe 2 years ago. But it's just one of those songs that just kind of hit me one day and sat down and wrote it all down.
Yeah, and you've got some songs in your career, and you've always kind of reminded me with certain songs of almost a modern day Ray Stevens. You know, because some of your songs have that humor. You talked about humor a while ago, and some of your songs have that humor, and you bring out that some guys don't play with, you know, and sometimes because they're afraid they're going to get a novelty song that's only going to live for a short time. But sometimes those songs are good enough they can live beyond being a novelty song.
Oh, absolutely. We that's all we do. It seems like is just giggle, and I mean it's the greatest job in the world. We get to make people smile. We get to laugh on our job, and we get to be around our friends all the time. It's the greatest job in the world, and so. Some people take that too serious, and I'm just like, you know, we've never been that way. We've been able to kid and have fun with one another and make jokes, and you know, I mean, we're always doing some kind of pranks or something with one another. So it just kind of eased on over into the music side of things. And there's really, like we were talking about earlier, when you come see a show, I mean, you know, we'll play that funky music, White Boy, and we'll play, you know, Dolly Parton 9 to 5 or something sometimes. You know, just throw something weird in there, and it's just basically we're not taking ourselves too serious. We want everybody to have a good time, and we want everybody to enjoy our music, and hopefully that you know that not taking us too seriously makes us more easier to deal with, I guess, than a serious songwriter.
Yeah. What's your deepest, darkest secret besides sneaking into Willie Nelson's picnic several years back and hanging out in a trailer?
Oh, see, you almost got me on that one too. Yeah, no, man, we had a good time that day. There's a bunch of them like that, man. You know, I can't tell all my secrets, all my stories, but there's a lot of them like that, though. You know, you can tell a bunch of them. There's a lot of guys out there that've been with me from day one. You know, I started playing music, you know, in the mid '90s, and it was funny. It's like after you put all that down there, well, I've got some really good stories. I just I'll have to write them all down, put them in a book, and then just like that'll be in my will. You can release it after I'm gone.
I just remember that time was fun because there was at one point we were like, we're just not going to answer the door.
Yeah. Everybody was on the bus, and we were stuck, and we couldn't get off the bus because they would have thrown us out. So I went on outside, and that's when Billy Drescher and Robert Gallagher grabbed me, and they brought me over there and said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, remember that we weren't even supposed to be back there, and I had the bus parked right next to Ray Wiley Hubbard's bus." I was like, they're like, "Okay, first of all, how'd you get in here?" I said, "Well, I don't really want to tell you about that." Okay, all right. First of all you need to do is ask us. You don't need to. But we were like, but it was so much more fun sneaking in.
Oh yeah, it was. That was probably one of my most memorable times at one of Willie's picnics. Is that moment? I mean, and I'll probably remember that for the rest of my life, especially the fake badges.
The fake badges, yeah, those were great too. And I'll tell you, and that you know, and you know, Smith Entertainment over there, you know, and Rick Smith Senior, you know, of course he's passed on, but you know, he was a big part of that deal too. And you know, I remember I always tell people what's funny about it is like, okay, you think of a Willie Nelson 4th of July picnic. Okay, it was pouring down rain. Right. And you're like, man, that must have been horrible. And I'm like, let me tell you something. More friendships, more bonds were made that day because of that rainstorm. You know what I mean? Yeah. friends for life were made that day because of that rainstorm. So there's no reason to worry about that. That's the fun side of things.
What's your truck stop vice when you go into a truck stop, because you spend a lot of time on the road? What's that thing you got to get?
Man, well, of course, beer usually. Usually we're doing some kind of some shape, form, or fashion of ice chest management somehow, with the ice and the cooler and the beer and all that. But man, I'll tell you what I'm really crazy about when we're driving and traveling a lot. I kind of like get your ice chest ready to go get all that ice on there, and then I throw like a couple of those Reese's peanut butter cups. I'll throw them on top of that ice so they get good and cold, and then I'll eat them cold. I like that.
So you're the one.
Oh yeah, I like them cold. And I'm also now, of course, when we're out west, I mean, it's the Awesome's burrito.
Yeah,
I'll knock those out. I mean, that's breakfast, lunch, dinner for me out there. But yeah, I'd say probably the Reese's. Everybody we travel with, they kind of giggle with me. They always go inside and get a Reese's. They know I like it on ice. I like it cold.
Yeah, well, those all-sup burritos outside of Texas, hardly anybody knows the brilliance of those things.
I know it, and you know what's funny is it's like you sit there and you talk about it, it's like I really can't remember the last time that I've gone a week without having one. I mean, it shows up somewhere in our travels at least once a week. So yeah, it's a big part of our diet.
Do you have?
We're so healthy.
You have a favorite song on the CP?
Man, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I like every one of them for different reasons, because what I did was half of them I wrote and half of them I didn't write. And the half I didn't write were because I just felt like they were the strongest, and I had a connection with whether it be through a songwriter that I knew that wrote it, or from something that I'd grown up with. And it's been a song that's been part of my musical journey since I was a young kid, that I've played since I was a young kid, And so each one of them are really, really special to me. And I know that sounds like a cop-out answer, but every album that I've ever put out, you put out 14 songs on an album. I mean, there's going to be songs on there within about a year or so that you don't even play anymore. I mean, it just happens.
Right.
I mean, George Strait's like that. I mean, I'm sure he can't remember every word to every song on his second album, although I probably can. But I don't think I'm sure he can't, But each one of these on here, all six of them, I'm really attached to all six of them, every one of them. I mean, from the words to the arrangements we put on them, to the little tricks and stuff we did as far as musicianship on it and everything. It's just, I don't know. It's all me. I played all the guitars on it except one guitar solo. Everything else, I put all the guitars on it too. So I'm pretty proud of this album.
Fantastic. It's great, man. It's a good EP, and I was excited to be able to get a copy of it and to listen to it and to get a chance to talk with you, because it's been, like you said at the beginning, it's been way too long. Let me close with this. Let's do something I like to call 60 seconds with.
All right.
Okay. Remember, This is radio, so you just say the first thing that pops in your mind, and don't be Randy Brown about it.
Okay.
That's a verb now.
Yeah, it may take us 5 minutes to get 60 seconds done here. It's kind of like how when I watch 60 Minutes, it takes me about an hour and a half. So let's go.
What's your favorite song?
Misery and Gin, Merle Haggard.
What kind of car do you drive?
Chevy Suburban.
What actress did you have a crush on growing up?
All of them.
What's your favorite toy?
Guitar.
Let's see. Have you ever stolen anything?
Yes.
Have you ever been kicked out of anywhere?
Yes.
All right. Last question. All right.
Yes.
What song changed your life and why?
It had to be a Willie Nelson song, and it was probably Whiskey River.
Why?
I was backstage at 15 or 16 to a Willie Nelson concert. I was on the stage, and he came out and opened the show with Whiskey River and closed the show with Whiskey River. And at that point, it really dawned on me that although I liked country music my whole life, but I was more focused on, Van Halen and stuff like that. And I was probably about 15 or so. And I played country too, but I was really into the rock and roll stuff. And when I saw him open up with Whiskey River and close with Whiskey River, and the show in between that was sandwiched in between that, to me, it was like, wait a minute, this isn't your daddy's hillbilly country. This is not Jim Reeves. This is not, Bill Monroe. This is the real deal right here. And from that minute on, I was country music for my whole life.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you, Randy Brown.
Thank you, Chuck. I can't believe I should have told you what I stole.
What'd you steal? Well, statute of limitations is up. What'd you steal?
Me and some buddies of ours stole 28 pumpkins and put them on the front door of our high school overnight. That way, the next morning when all the kids got there, it was on Halloween. It was the big pumpkin smash right there. So I'm sure somebody's probably out there saying, "See, I told you he steals cars and all kinds of stuff."
I told you it was that brown boy. Hey, you brown boy, get off my yard.
That's right, exactly. Man, thank you for all the kind words and all you've always done for me, Chuck. Man, you're always just a good guy, man. And I'm glad I've known you this long. It's fun. It's been a fun deal. I can't wait to look for the next 10 or 15. Let's go see what happens next. All right, Chuck. Thanks so much, buddy. Have a great day.
You too. Thanks for listening to the Red Dirt America podcast.